May 9 Start baby.
Okay, hello, can everyone hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
So it looks like we have 11 people in our class now, so we can start now. So hi everyone, my name is Shrivrun Hatwar. I will be your spelling teacher for this class. I have spelling experience as I went to the National Spelling Bee in 6th and 7th grade, and I also won a team spelling Olympiad when I was in 8th grade. So I hope you guys will enjoy this class and will be able to learn a lot from me. So let me just pull up our presentation real quick. Okay, so can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
and now, so some of you were in my class last year, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I didn't change up too many things in our classes, especially this first class, but just let you know that you guys will learn some new things. Like this year, we're gonna go. I think last year I felt like one of the concerns that I had for this class is that I was just throwing a bunch of information at you guys. So this year, I'm gonna try to give you guys a little bit more, some more ways to remember it, and like some more ways to like analyze it and use the information that I give you. But this first introduction class that I'm gonna teach is basically gonna be the same, a little bit very similar to last year. So this is our course out. Sorry. I just want to let everyone introduce themselves. So I'll just call on participants, and if you're okay with unmuting, you can unmute, but you can also chat. Type your thing in the chat. I just want everyone to say their name, age, school, and instead of doing passion, let's have something that you're gonna do fun this summer. So I see Rohan first. So will Rohan like to share?
Do I type it or put it in the chat?
Whichever you prefer. You can.
Okay. Um. My name is Rohan. I'm 10 years old. I go to Salem Elementary School. And what did you say we have to do instead of passion?
Something fun that you're gonna do this summer.
Um, I'm doing swimming or sports.
Nice,
Doing a
that's
lot of
cool.
sports.
Very nice. Okay, so I see Ria Shah next. So does Ria want to share?
Yeah. Um, uh, so my name is Ria. I'm 9 years old. My school is NA, and I'm going to the beach tomorrow.
Nice. Nice. So
And there are big black boxes on the screen.
oh, really? Are they gone now?
Yeah, now they're gone.
Okay then.
No,
Uh,
there's like two still. Like there's like
really?
a top one and a bottom one. No, there's like
That's interesting. Let me stop sharing my screen real quickly. See. Okay, I think we'll do because I had to pull up the names of you guys to do the thing. So for this introduction part, we're just gonna stop doing the screen sharing, and then once we're done with the introduction, I'll share the presentation back. So should I just share? So does Devika want to share now?
Hi, my name is Devika and I am 9 years old and I go to Old Donation School.
Nice. Nice. So does Hardik want to introduce himself now?
Yes. My name is Hardik, and I'm rising to fourth grade. I'm in Kingston, and my age is 9, and I'm gonna go to the beach this summer.
Nice, nice. So does Josh V. Sri want to share now? Josh V. Sri?
My name is Jashvi Shri. If my name is too hard to pronounce, you can just call me Shri. I am 9. I go to Old Donation School, and I'm most likely gonna travel this summer.
Nice, Sri. Yeah, your name is very unique, so that's cool. So next, does Sai Suraj want to share now?
Yeah, my name is Sai Suraj, and I am 9 years old, and I go to Salem Elementary School, and I went to the Luray Caverns this summer.
Oh, nice, Luray Caverns. I've been there too. And does Shiza want to share now?
My name is Shiza. I am 11 and I go to North Academy and I'm going to surfing this summer.
Oh, nice. And yeah, I see Yaminis and Devika's in the chat, so I think everyone introduced themselves. So yeah, hi. If you guys already don't know, my name's Shrivi Hathwar. I am about to turn 15, and I am going into 10th grade. And one fun thing that I'm doing this summer is we're actually going on a family trip with our cousins in like 2 days. So I'll just share the. Are there black boxes on the screen now, or are they gone?
There's
There's
still
one.
one on the top.
Can you delete it?
Wait, did it move to the bottom now? I didn't.
Yeah, it moved to the bottom. Now it's
Is
like
it-
a line.
Is it blocking anything? But because of it.
No, not really.
Okay then. Yeah, I think it was just some of the Zoom things. Sometimes they block the screen, so.
Now there's like a big one.
Wait, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me see if something else helps. Now do you see it, or is it fine now?
It's fine now.
Okay then. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So if you guys already don't know, this is going to be a spelling and a vocab course because both of them are very important in your spelling journey. Especially if you want to go to nationals in the spelling bee, there is actually a vocab written test that you'll have to take and you have to get good enough marks on it if you want to make it to like the semifinals or the finals. So this course will incorporate both spelling and vocab. And to be honest, if you study your spelling right, the vocab should come easy to you because these go basically in tandem with each other. And this course will help you think about words differently and use tools to help you identify and spell them. And this course outline is this first session is going to be about the spelling bee format and resources. Our next session will be about Greek and Latin etymology because these words that come from Greek and Latin are the most prevalent in spelling bees. And then after that, we'll learn about other languages, etymology, and other types of like word groups. And then session 4, we will learn about prefixes, suffixes, and roots. Session 5, we'll learn about vocabulary and how to use your spelling knowledge that we learned. And then session 6, we will have one final spelling bee in which we'll kind of have like, I'll just ask all of you a word in like a typical spelling bee format. So this is session 1, spelling bee format and resources. So what we're going to cover in today's class, we will cover the format of the Scripps spelling bee and the bees leading up to it. We will cover study resources for the spelling bee. We will also cover how to study for spelling bees. We will cover how to look for information in a word, and we will cover tips when you're spelling words. So these are the levels of the bee. So you have to win. So first we start at the top. So the first bee that you guys have to participate in, I know my school didn't have this bee, but some schools do. It's called the class bee. And what happens is you guys have a big spelling bee within your classroom, and whoever wins that spelling bee moves on to the school bee. And then you guys will have a similar spelling type of competition. And then one person will be left remaining. And then whoever wins the school spelling bee will move on to we don't really have a district bee in Hampton Roads. If you guys aren't from Hampton Roads, some of you guys might have a district bee. But if you are from Hampton Roads, from the school bee, we just go straight to a regional bee. And whoever wins the regional bee moves on to the national bee. And this is the Scripps National Spelling Bee that happens in Washington every year. This year it actually happened in Florida, but this is the spelling bee that happens in Washington every year. And whoever wins this bee will move on. Whoever wins this bee will be the ultimate champions per se. And there's also a kind of a rule change, I guess. So if there's also not really a rule change, but there's also an opportunity to go to the nationals, even if you don't win like your regional bee, per se. What if you don't have a spelling bee at your school? I know a couple schools don't have spelling bees, but I think what you can do is, I think you can either persuade your school to have a spelling bee. I know that some elementary schools don't have spelling bees, because especially in Hampton Roads, you have to be 6th grade and up to have a spelling bee. I'm pretty sure most middle schools have a spelling bee though. I mean, but if your school doesn't have a spelling bee for whatever reason, you can persuade them. Or I think you can apply for the spelling bee at another school, I think. But even to qualify for our regional bee, some cases it isn't like this, like in other states or say. But to qualify for our regional bee, you have to be at least in middle school. And as I was saying, there's also an opportunity to qualify for the spelling bee, even if you didn't win your regional bee. And this is called the RSVB program. I'll type it in the chat right now. But basically what happens is if you're a school champion and you lose somewhere on the way after that, before you get to the National Spelling Bee, there's this program where you can apply for the spelling bee, and then they have a lottery, and whoever wins the lottery per se gets can participate in the National Spelling Bee. So let me just type the name in here in case any of you guys are interested. But there's a specific time to apply for this program, and like after you win your school bee, and you have to I think you have to pay money to do it too anyway. So you don't get like a free, you're not you don't get a free journey there. So what you need to participate, you have to be in 8th grade or lower to participate. And I already covered this. You have to, for the Virginia Pilot Spelling Bee, you have to be in at least 6th grade to participate. And you also have to be under 15 at the beginning of the school year. And you must win a regional bee or go through RSVB, which is a platform in which people who won their school bee but not a local bee can apply, which I've already explained. And here are some, I don't think we need to go over this now, but I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation with all of you guys to view. So if you guys are interested, you guys can click on some of these links that I'm skipping today. But basically, most of you already know what a spelling bee format is, like an oral spelling bee format. I mean, but in the regionals, they also have a written test, which you guys have to take.
Are you gonna send us this slideshow?
Yes, I'm gonna send you all of you guys the slideshow after the class.
Okay, because I want to write everything down.
No, don't worry. You can just listen if you don't feel like it. No.
I'll do that this time.
Yeah, so most regional and school spelling bees are oral, which means you have to spell the words out loud. In the format of this bee, a pronouncer will pronounce you a word like cat, and using some information that you can ask them, you will have to spell the words. So what you can ask the pronouncer is for the pronunciation, you can ask them to repeat the word, the language of origin, what language it came from, the definition, using it in a sentence, any alternate pronunciations. In the nationals, you can ask for roots, and you can ask for the part of speech of word. And if you guys are thinking, why do I even have to learn any of these? Why are these questions even important? These pieces and bits of information can actually help you spell the word, as we will learn in later classes. So when you're up to spell, the pronouncer will just say the word. You can then ask them the questions above. Then you will pronounce the word, spell it, and pronounce it again just to make sure that you're finished. And I've seen a couple people who've gotten out just because they forgot to pronounce the word at the end, and the judges didn't know if they're done spelling or not. So make sure that you pronounce the word at the beginning and pronounce it at the end. Clarify to the judges. These are some spelling bee resources. So the official dictionary that the spelling bee uses, the spelling bee doesn't use the Oxford Dictionary. It actually uses the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, which is the dictionary that was first created by like an American. So this is the online version here. And basically you can just look up, you can look up words here, and you can also get a printed copy if you want of the dictionary. I mean, I advise you don't, because it's like 1,000 pages. But this, in total, I think there are about like 400,000 words in the dictionary. And if you want to be a spelling bee champion, you don't have to know all of them. Like, don't worry about that. But this is the official dictionary that the Scripps people use. And I'd say out of the 400,000 words, if you really, 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 like, don't do this for fun or something. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you really, really, really want to be a spelling champion, there are probably about like 100,000 words of that you need to study for the spelling bee. And yeah, someone texted me that they have the Merriam-Webster dictionary. That's good. I think I have a dictionary copy here too. Yeah, but I didn't bring it out, of course, because it's super big. And the Word Club app is an app on your phone that is by Scripps, and I'll also send you any resources that I find. These are just like a starter list, but the Word Club app by Scripps is all of the school list words and some of the regional words that they use in the spelling bee. The next resource is Spell It, and this website doesn't work anymore because they stopped using the Spell It list, but this is used to be the list of the regionals, and this list is very, very good for introducing you into learning about different languages of origins. Because most of the words that we use, they're not really that exotic, but these words are pretty simple to spell. Not easy to spell, but they're pretty simple to spell, and this will kind of get you introduced into like these more exotic words, like Arabic sounding words, Latin sounding words, Greek and French sounding words, kind of thing. It'll kind of get you introduced. And I know this link doesn't work, so I think after the class, I'll replace it with another PDF of it. And this is a site called Spelling Mantra that explains the languages of origins very well. And she has about like 10 hours or so of material on her page. I recommend you don't watch all of it unless you're bored, so like extremely bored or something. But as you see here, she has all of these languages that she just made videos on. And this person placed second in the National Spelling Bee. So she has some very good material. And I recommend if you guys want to get a deep dive into a language, like if you're struggling with Latin or like German or French or something, if you want a deep dive in a language, I recommend you use her website. But just beware that like it's a lot of information. So like you're not gonna remember most of it. I didn't remember most of it, but it's very hard information. And then this book, Words of Wisdom, Keys to Success in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, is also a good book for learning etymologies. And it has like 10,000 words in it. I mean, but it's super, super challenging. Like I don't know some of the words in there. They're just like super challenging to spell. And I think you can buy it online. I'm not sure how much is it, but I only recommend you to like get it from a friend or like buy it. It's probably like $50 or something. I only recommend you to buy it if it like you really, really want to study spelling. Are the languages we consider all on the top? For Hardik's question on the Spelling Mantra website, she only made the videos for those languages that are on the top because those are the most important languages. Other languages, like you said, like Swedish, don't really make up many words, and you're actually pretty unlucky if you get like words from like Swedish or like some obscure language. Like these languages don't make up much. But in our next classes, I'll teach you tips and stuff for like these other language branches too. And then the Spell It used to be the old spelling list that they use for the school bee. But the new spelling list that they use is called the Words of Champions. And it's arranged into 3 levels. So the first level is the 1B level, which is like intermediately advanced. And then there's the 2B level, which is difficult, and a 3B level, which is super difficult. So I found a PDF on it online. And let me see if it loads. Yeah, here it is. So it's a pretty long list. It's about like 2,000 words, but these are mainly the words that they ask in the school and regional bee. Of course, like probably this fall, they'll actually release the real school bee lists, but they base everything up until the nationals off of this list. And as you can see, some of these words are, this is only the 1B level, but especially if you go to the 3B level, these words are pretty complex. So you'll have to be pretty smart and pretty advanced in your spelling career to study these words. But these are basic, if you study these, you're basically set, unless, of course, the regional exhausts these words and moves on to harder words, which are basically set if you know these words. So these are most of the spelling bee resources that we have here. And diacritical markings. So this is basically pronunciations, but on paper. Like if you want to put the word hypothesis, as you say here, if you want to put it how you pronounce it down, write it down. Let me see if I have my cool looking laser pointer. This is what it would look like. So here I have a cheat sheet. I have this sheet. I hope the link works. But I have this sheet that has all the diacritical markings that you know. And you know most of these, like, you know the long I, you know the I with the line over it is the long I sound, and you just pronounce it as I. And you know most of these, but there are a couple of new ones to you guys. Like this one, this upside down E is called the schwa sound. And it's it's all of spellers' Achilles heel. Every speller hates it. If you ask a speller what the thing that they load the most is, they'll tell you that it's the schwa sound. That's what this thing is called. And basically it's pronounced like like it's kind of like a sound. And what the worst thing about the schwa sound is that in like 90% of the languages, or 90% of the languages that you study, the schwa sound can be any letter. It can be any vowel. The schwa sound can be spelled with an A, it can be spelled with an E, it can be spelled with an I, it can be spelled with an O, it can be spelled with a U, and in some languages it can be spelled with a lot more. But the schwa sound is very complicated. And in some languages, there'll be some ways to differentiate what you think the schwa sound is. But in most situations when you're dealing with the schwa sound, it's almost like a guessing game. And sometimes you just have to memorize you just have to memorize what it is. I mean, you have to memorize a couple things in spelling. I don't recommend you to memorize everything, but sometimes the schwa sound in words is one of the things that you'll just have to memorize. I mean, you can spell it with the Y too, but that's not in every language. I think you can spell it with the Y in Greek, I'm pretty sure. But the schwa sound is just a very complicated sound. And there's also this A with 2 dots on it, and it's pronounced like ah, like what the dentist asks, the sound that the dentist asks you to make when you like have to stick out your tongue. It's kind of pronounced like an ah, as in mop, like mop. And then let me see, you guys probably know the long E sound. And then any vowel that doesn't have a line over it and just plain like this I right here, you just pronounce that as like a short I, like it. And for A right here, it'll be like an ash. So these are short sounds, short vowels. So this I would be pronounced like the I in hit. And there are a couple more sounds. This O with a dot is very similar to this A with 2 dots. But the funny thing is, in some languages, they are spelled differently. So you'll have to differentiate. Like this one kind of stresses the O sound a little bit more, like aw, like as in law. But this one is a little bit more like just type of thing. So in your speller intuition, gets like stronger, like when you can spell more words easier, this sound differentiating between the A with 2 dots and the O with 1 dot over it will be a little bit easier. And there are a couple more. The U with 2 dots is spelled is pronounced oo, as the O in loot, and the U sound is pronounced as U in youth, like the word you. And these are basically the main diacritical sounds. You won't really see many other diacritical sounds. I mean diacritical markings. But when you're a beginner speller, it's just kind of hard to differentiate. So these make it easier on you. And here are some tips on how to study spelling. So as you guys probably are still thinking, why do I need to learn all this stuff? Why can't I just memorize the word? Here are a couple of reasons why you just shouldn't memorize the word. One, it's very hard. Because like your brain can't really handle that much information. It likes things to be organized. And when you just throw a bunch of random things in your brain, it doesn't really get that. So looking for patterns in words is very helpful. And that's where roots, and that's where the language of origin comes in. And that's where part of speech, that's where all of these things that we're learning come in. And this approach is also bad because homonyms, like when you just study the spelling and you don't study the definitions or any other things, words that sound similar or words that are pronounced exactly the same will be very hard to spell because you haven't studied any of the definitions. I know you guys can probably differentiate between some of these on the table on the right here, but when you get into harder spelling, you won't know the definitions for many of the words, and that's why you have to study homonyms, and you really have to learn definitions to help you. And instead of doing this memorizing format, as I said, you have to use patterns. Like you have to use the language of origin, you have to use roots, you have to use the part of speech, and you have to use definitions to help you determine how to spell the word. And this will give you more assurance that you're spelling it right. Because even the top spelling champions, they don't memorize every word. They use all of these patterns. And that's why even that person who got second place in one of the spelling bees, that's why she created that language of origin website, because it's very helpful to recognize patterns in spelling. Because then this will help you instead of just memorizing the words. So how to study for spelling. These are a couple of things to look out for. I have a list on the next slide, but these are a couple of things to look out for while studying. First, the language of origin can help, as different languages have different patterns. We will study languages in the next two classes. So just get ready for learning about the languages for the next two classes. And this is a language tree on the right here. So as you can say, some languages are actually related to each other. So actually, if you guys take if you got like Latin, French, Romanian, Spanish, Catalan, Portuguese, and Italian, these languages came from Latin. So these languages are actually, let me go back real quick. So these languages actually will be a little bit related. And even though French doesn't sound anywhere near Latin, a lot of the patterns in them are very similar. And for homonyms, knowing the definition of each word and or any other information, like sometimes the part of speech can help on this, like knowing if it's an adjective or a noun can help. But knowing that some identifying trait that is differentiated between each word will help you decipher them and tell you which one of the words is which. And then get the pronunciation of the word ingrained in your brain so you can recognize it later. And especially if the word has like some weird pronunciation, don't remember, like, make sure that you're learning the pronunciation right. Because there is one, I've done it many times too, but even some of the top spellers, they have studied the pronunciations of words wrong. Like, they've made the pronunciations a little bit easier. And because of this, because they study the pronunciations wrong, when they got the real words in the spelling bee, they actually didn't know. So that's why they actually got some words wrong because of that. I think Japanese we will learn in the 3rd class. So Japanese, it's not on this one because these are, as you guys will, I'll teach you this in the next classes, but if you guys want to know a little bit already, these are Indo-European languages. So they kind of originated from like near India and spread to Europe. But there's also other languages that didn't originate from this, like Japanese is one of them, and Chinese and Native American languages. They're a little bit different. They're in different language families than this one. So we will learn about those in the 3rd class. Change the slide. And this is a comprehensive approach when studying. So when studying for spelling, you should first look at the word. Next, you should look for any trouble spots, like any things that you think might trip you up. Like if there's a silent letter, like in the word aisle, A-I-S-L-E, there's a silent S. So you have to beware for that. You have to know that that's a trouble spot. And some of the trouble spots you can recognize with patterns, like in Greek, there are some silent letters, but they come pretty automatically, like the PH in phone. Most people know that if there's a F sound in Greek, you spell it with the PH. But sometimes most times you'll have to just memorize these trouble spots. Next, you'll have to listen to the word. And then you have to understand the meaning of this word. Next, you will review the part of speech of the word, because one case in which this really helps, the part of speech really helps, is with differentiating between adjectives and nouns. If the word ends in like an us sound, and you don't really know if it's spelled O-U, let me type it here. And you don't really know if it's spelled O-U-S or U-S, it can be like cactus or some other word. The thing is, if is an adjective, the spelling will be O-U-S like always. And if it's a noun, the spelling of that us sound at the end will be U-S always. So that's just a trick to know. And this part of speech can help you in many occasions like this. And then you review the language of the origin. And when you're doing this, you should also review if this word conforms with the rules of the language that it's from, or if it kind of goes against the rules. Like when you see an F instead of a PH in Greek, you already know that the word is an outlier. So you know that you can't really rely just on the language to spell this word, because that'll lead you in the wrong direction. You'll spell that F sound PH. But when you're reviewing the language of the origin, going back to the trouble spots thing, you have to look for the trouble spots that occur with the language of origin, the things that will trip you up. And then after that, you dissect the word into parts, if there's any. And I know some words don't have parts, like especially short words, but you can dissect the words into parts if it's long enough. And then from there, you look for any suffixes or prefixes. And these are some of the easiest things in spelling. The suffixes and prefixes, like the suffix like, let me type it here. Like the suffix ology, when you hear that, you already know that the definition of the word will be the study of something. And when you hear that pronunciation ology, you already know that it's going to be spelled O-L-O-G-Y. So these things, suffixes and prefixes, can help you while spelling. And then after this, you say and write the word and check your spelling. And this is basically a comprehensive approach. You don't have to do all of these steps for every word, but doing these will help you. And this is where using the dictionary, the online dictionary or any print dictionary that you have, this is where it'll come and play. This is where it'll help. And trouble spots in words. Some words are harder to spell than others, and you guys already know this in your the limited spelling knowledge that most everyone in elementary and middle school has. You guys already know that there are some words that are harder to spell than others. These words have trouble spots that you have to look for when studying. They can have a silent letter like a det, or they can have a schwa sound like brilliant. And if you guys are unsure of which one's the schwa sound here, it's the A, because brilliant, it's kind of like the sound. So brilliant, the A is the schwas here. And also, this is kind of a misconception that if the longer the word is, the harder it is. Most hard words aren't supremely long. Like the word understanding is 13 letters, but you can break it apart and it's pretty easy to spell for a upper elementary school student or something. But there are some words that even like champions, they've gotten out on like 5 and 6 letter words. And even though these words are super short, these words have so many trouble spots and they're so hard that even though they're so short, the best spellers in the world couldn't really spell it right. So that's one thing. So now let's take a moment to review the importance. I've already touched on this a little bit, but let's take a moment to review the importance of each question. Yeah, as I said, it is true that some smaller words are harder than bigger words. I actually think it was in one, it wasn't in the script spelling bee, it was in another spelling bee. But one speller that I know, and she got runner up in the script spelling bee, but she got a runner up in the script spelling bee, and this was in another competition, and she got this 4-letter word. I think it was like Gluck, and it's spelled G-L-O-K, and she spelled it wrong because it's kind of a toss-up with some of these words and like the schwa sound and everything. So it is true that some small words can trip up spellers more than some longer words. And to Hardik's question, I actually think the E in trapezoid, I think it's a schwa sound because it has that little sound. So I think that it's not a short E or a long E. I think that's the schwa sound in trapezoid. And once you hear these words a little bit more and you can study the diacritic markings a little bit more, because diacritical markings are very important in etymology, because you have to use the sounds, and most languages are phonetic. So you have to use the sounds and diacritical markings to help you spell the words right. But I think the E in but once your speller intuition, like once you study spelling a little bit more, you'll have a better handle on these words and on pronunciation. So now let's take a moment to review the yeah, Rohan says he's already learning it because it makes an ug sound. Yeah, when it makes an ug sound or even like an I, like any sort of thing, that's a schwa. And in some words, it sounds like it's pronounced a little bit different. And I'll learn how you can use that like little difference to your advantage. Like in some words, it's pronounced a little bit like and in some words, it's pronounced a little bit more on the U. It's more focused on the U. So you can help use that to your advantage. So reviewing the importance of each question. Listening to the word a couple times will help you decipher the word and trigger your memory to remember it. So that's where pronunciation comes into play. And then understanding the meaning of the word will help you improve your vocab and will help you spot the word from homonyms. And also memorizing the definition will also help you identify it when you're on the stage. Like when you're on the stage and there's a bunch of pressure, remembering the definition will help kind of bring you down and help you identify the word even better than a pronunciation at some times. And especially, never mind. And if you learn the language of the origin of the word, it will help you spot patterns. Yeah. For example, words that come from Latin won't have K as the K sound 99% of the time. And this is due, these different patterns, like these words differing from English, kind of goes back to the language families we had in the beginning. Language families we saw here. Languages develop differently, and this is where you have to think of words a little bit more abstractly. Languages develop differently, and every word's a little bit unique. So every word's built differently. So you have to use the patterns that are formed in languages to help you spell these words and find the uniqueness of it. So reviewing the part of speech. I already used this example, but an example of in which this part of speech will be helpful is if you're trying to decipher between a word ending in OUS and US. Like if you get cactus or some adjective and you don't really know if it's an OUS or US, if you find out that it's an adjective, your best bet is OUS. And if you find out that it's a noun, then your best bet to spelling it is US. Of course, none of these are definitive. There's always exceptions, but these are just some rules. When you hear a word, try to break it into individual parts. For example, the word assimilation can be broken down into AS, the middle simil, and then ation as the end. And then these are prefixes and suffixes. As you guys already know, TION is a pretty common suffix. And I'll explain more about these prefixes and suffixes and roots later. But breaking up these words into individual parts will help you identify them. Yeah, as Harley says, so since cactus is a noun, it's spelled US, yeah. I mean, also since it comes from Latin has the common US, and that's why most of the nouns that end in like that us sound come from Latin. So that's why they're all spelled US most of the time. And then look for familiar prefixes and suffixes when you hear a word. The suffix TION comes up in a lot of words, so you should look out for it. And finally, ask for alternate pronunciations. Asking for the alternate pronunciations can help you find another side of the word and might even reveal silent letters hidden in the word. So this is a personal story. It probably won't take that long if you guys think it's boring or anything. But I was in the regional spelling bee, I think in my 7th grade year, when I was in 7th grade. And then I got this word and the judge pronounced it to me as apoptosis. And I was like, apoptosis. And then I went through my regular thing of asking all the questions just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And then when I asked for alternate pronunciations, the judge gave me the alternate pronunciation apoptosis. So what that revealed to me is that in the actual pronunciation, there's a silent letter. If I had gone just off the actual pronunciation, I would have spelled like APOTOSIS. But since I asked the alternate pronunciation, the judge revealed that there is a P right here between the O and the T, apoptosis. And if I didn't ask for the alternate pronunciation, I probably would have got it wrong. So that just shows you the importance of asking all these questions. And importance of asking every question, actually, to make sure that you don't mess up anything. And now we are done with our content for today. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have a quick 7-question quiz for you guys, a diagnostic quiz to test your spelling ability prior to the rest of the course. I'll send you a Google form in the chat, and first we'll take a 5-minute break before we start this quiz, and then I'll send you a Google form in the chat to fill out your responses. I'll review the correct answers after the quiz, and then I'll introduce our homework. So does anyone have any questions after this introduction class? I answered some of your questions while we were having the class, but does anyone have any other questions that they missed? And if you guys have any questions, you guys can actually just email me. I know most of your parents have my email, so you guys can just email me with any questions, however odd they might seem. You guys need any help? No one has any questions? Okay, I think we can break for a quick 5-minute break right now. So you guys come back in 5 minutes, and then we will start our quiz. Bye, guys.
Did the host just leave? Or
No, he just turned his video off.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm still here if you guys have anything.
thank what time does this class end? Anna?
I'm planning on ending it at like 10:15. That's when our
Okay.
quiz will end. And
Okay, thank you.
I'll send to answer Rohan's question. I'll send the link in about 5 minutes. I just want everyone to take a 5-minute break.
I thought they said the class ended at 11.
That's in case like it went super long, but not all. This introduction class is a little bit shorter, but I think my next classes I just want to give everyone leeway time. My next classes will probably end at around like 10:30.
Mm.
Oh yeah, you guys can get a snack if you guys are hungry.
Is there gonna be a test like a small spelling bee like last year? At the
Yeah.
end of the course?
Yeah, we're gonna have a small spelling bee. And while Shreyan's saying that, I think I'll wait until everyone comes back. I'll wait for probably a couple more minutes. But
Mhm.
I want to talk about our point system. I know last year that we had a prize, but I don't know if this year we'll be able to give like a Amazon gift card prize. We might do something, but we probably won't give you guys a prize, but we will have a competition throughout the class. So, I'll just clear up everything about it. So I guess we'll start now. So as you guys have just seen, I've pasted a link in the chat. And whenever you guys access the link and see if it works, then I'll pronounce the words to you guys, so don't worry about that. But just see if you guys can open up the link and get on it properly.
I can get on it.
The link works perfectly fine.
Yep, it works perfectly fine.
Yeah, just
It works.
everyone get on it before I start. So, everyone there? See, a couple people are having trouble, but
Is it everything?
what do you mean everything? What do you mean by no? I'm just asking seven. Just asking this is just a diagnostic quiz. Yeah, just click on the link and see if it works for you. When everyone's on the link, I'll start pronouncing the words to you guys.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. So it looks like everyone's ready. So, and also I'll give you guys all of the information of the word too. So, the first word for today, and can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the first word today, this is pretty simple, but the first word is erase. Erase. It's a verb, and the definition is to rub or scrape something out and to remove written or drawn marks from. The language of origin is Latin.
Can you please say the word again?
The word again is erase. Erase.
Okay.
And using it in a sentence, I erased my mistake off the blackboard.
So it's erase or erased?
Just erase.
Do we have to capitalize the first word? The first letter?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I've made it that it accepts both lowercase and the first letter uppercase. And everyone give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. Okay, I think we can move on to the next word now. The next word today is poster.
Toaster?
I'll pronounce it again. Poster. It's a noun, and it is a usually large printed sheet that is put on a wall as a decoration. I'll use it in a sentence now. I despised my friend's poster of One Direction that she had on her wall. And the etymology of poster is from Middle English, from Latin. Middle English from Latin. And I'll pronounce the word again. The word is poster.
Which
Poster.
word are we on?
Word number 2.
Okay.
Is everyone ready for word number 3 now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move on then. Your next word is tennis. Tennis. It's an indoor or outdoor game that is played with the rackets and a light elastic ball. It's a noun. An example is, I played tennis with my friend yesterday, but it was very hot outside. And the language of origin is Middle English from Anglo-French. Pronounce it again. Tennis. Is everyone ready for the next word?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, our next word is gorilla. Gorilla. It's a noun. And the definition is a very large, typically black-colored anthropoid ape. It's from New Latin, from Greek. I'll use it in a sentence. The gorilla in the zoo was very fierce. And I'll pronounce the word again. Gorilla. Is everyone ready for our next word?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Our next word is junction. Junction.
Junction.
Yeah. It is a noun, and junction means a place or point of meeting. The language of origin is Latin.
What word are you on again?
This is word number 5.
Can you repeat? I couldn't hear it.
The word again is junction.
Okay.
Junction.
What does it mean?
The word junction means a place or point of meeting, an intersection of roads, especially where one terminates. I'll use it in a sentence now. The 2 trains met at the junction, and one of them had to wait for the other to pass. I'll pronounce it again. Junction. Everyone give me a thumbs up when they're ready. People a little bit more time. So the word is junction. Is everyone ready?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, then I'll give you guys a little bit.
I'm ready now.
Now, our next word is kidney. Kidney.
What?
I'll pronounce it again. The word is kidney.
Kidney.
It's a noun, and the definition is one of a pair of organs situated in the body cavity that excretes waste and forms urine. I'll pronounce it again because it's a tough one. Kidney. Kidney. The language of origin is Middle English.
Do you know what's the meaning?
The meaning is one of a pair of organs, the body near the stomach, which secretes waste and forms urine. And the pronunciation once again is kidney. Kidney. If anyone's lost, this is our 6th word.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Is everyone ready? Or does anyone need any more information?
I'm ready.
Is it kidneys or just kidney?
It's singular.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, then.
Ready.
And our final word, I know in an actual spelling bee format, all of the words will be given like the same point value, but this word is a little bit trickier. So I wanted to give this word is worth 2 points. So think hard about this one. The definition might help you. So the word is indict. Indict. It is a verb. The definition of indict is to charge with a fault or offense, to criticize. This word comes from Middle English, from French. Example in a sentence: a grand jury is expected to indict him for murder. And after this word, I'm going to pronounce all the words again. So, and this is our final word, our 7th word.
Can you please pronounce it again?
No problem. The word is indict. Indict.
Can you tell the meaning?
The meaning of the word again is to charge with the fault or offense, to criticize, accuse.
Is there another way to say this word?
No, the word is just indict.
Oh,
Those are just definitions. So everyone give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. Or just ask me for any information if you need it.
Can you repeat the word one more time?
I will. The word is indict. Indict. And this word is actually very tricky, so I'll be surprised if some of you guys get it.
done.
Is everyone ready? Okay. So now I will pronounce all the words one more time. I won't give any information, but I'll just pronounce all of them one more time. And then once you guys are done, submit it. It's like submit the form. So the first word is erase. Erase. The second word, poster. Poster. The third word is tennis. Tennis. The fourth word is gorilla. Gorilla.
I have a question.
Yep.
I think I put a space at the end of gorilla, and it says it's wrong.
I'll fix everything. Don't worry. I have this spreadsheet in which I'm going to put your point values. I'll look through them.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes?
It sounded you like on word 2, it sounded you're saying hoster. So I just wanted to make this clear. Is it poster or hoster?
Poster. It's poster.
Okay, poster.
Okay. The fifth word is junction. Junction. The sixth word is kidney. Kidney. And the seventh word is indict. Indict. And everyone, you guys can just submit it when you guys are ready. I'll go over the answers once everyone.
What if we're done? Can we leave?
I was planning on giving you guys some homework and going over the answers. So.
You said it was indict, right?
Yep.
It said the right one was something else.
That's why I told you it was very tricky. I'll go over.
It's way different than the pronunciation.
No. You guys will learn. You guys will learn. I just want. That's why it's worth 2 points.
It should be worth like 10 if you got that right.
I'll tell you, one person did get it right. 2 people actually got it right. So,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but on word 1, they said I was correct. And then below that, I typed erase, and then it's covered in red, says it's wrong. And then the correct answers are erase, which I wrote, and erase, but with the capital E.
It did the same thing for junction for me.
It didn't do that for any with me. I just got them all right except indict.
Did you guys put a space before or after your answer?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I don't know. I'll give you guys all the points. I thought the point system will be a little bit easier than that, but I'll give you guys all the points. I'll look through them again.
When I looked through it, two of my words just changed from how I wrote it.
Really?
Yeah. For
who's-
one of it, one letter is missing somehow. And for the other one, it just changed, like switched letters or something.
Okay. Who's speaking?
Ishida?
Let me see.
It's probably one, but I don't know. I think it's two of them.
I don't know why. Yeah, that's very odd. Oh yeah, I see now. It looks like you. I'll give you guys the points. I think because I see Ishita. I see most of yours are right. I think it's just marking it wrong. I don't know why it's marking it wrong for a couple of them.
For number 5, my cheese missing, but I know I placed it.
Yeah, I see. I'll correct it.
Okay.
Yes, sorry guys. I'll look through it. I'll look through.
Wait, who got it right?
Okay.
Who got the 7th one right?
Do they want? If they want me to reveal their names, I'll do it right now.
You can if you want to.
Okay. Let me look through the responses real quick. So. No. So Devika got it right.
Great job.
Yeah. And
Oops.
and then sorry, let me go through it one more time. Let me see who else got it right. No. Yeah, seems like a lot of people got everything else right, but then they just got Indite wrong. So
Yeah. That one is tricky.
yeah, it really is tricky. That's why I wanted to ask it to you guys.
Wait, did everyone send it in? Because it was like indict.
Yeah, everyone sent it.
It's like indict, not indict. So the pronunciation.
So Devika and Rohan got it right.
Good job.
And the only reason I asked this word is I knew that a couple of people will know the definition of the word. So, because the definition really helps you. So actually, on that note, I'll go over all the words now. Let me just share let me just do one thing real quick.
Yeah. Can I exit out?
That's what the form. If everyone submitted it, then yeah. It's taking some time. I see Devika properly changed her name to reflect her expertise. Very nice. Okay, so I hope no one left yet because I do have some homework that I want to give you guys. Let me see. Do we have all? Yeah, we have all 11. So the first word, it was erase, and I think most of you got it right, but the correct spelling is erase, and it means to like scratch something off or like kind of remove it. The next word was pronounced as poster, and it's something that you put on your wall. So the correct spelling is poster. The third word was tennis, and it's a sport that you play either indoors or outdoors with the ball and two racket, like a ball and two rackets. So this is pronounced T-E-N-N, spelled T-E-N-N-I-S. The fourth word is a large anthropoid animal, and it was pronounced gorilla. So the spelling is Gorilla. The fifth word was pronounced junction, and it means a place where two things meet, and it's spelled Junction. The sixth one was pronounced kidney, and it's an organ that filters waste from your body. And it is spelled Kidney. And the last word, this is pronounced indict, and it means when you accuse someone in like a law procedure. And the way you spell it is Indict. That C is silent. So that's one of the silent letters that you just have to know. Yeah.
No, I did with the C, but I put an E at the end.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a very tricky one. So yeah. I just wanted to ask that one to see if anyone really knew it, because that was kind of a word that you either knew it or you don't. You either knew that it, and this is where learning the words comes into handy a little bit more.
Mm.
So yeah, I think with our quiz, actually, this class did go on until 10:30. And I hope no one left yet, because I have some homework to give you guys. So let me just erase all my annotations. So my homework for next class, you guys will study. So remember how I told you about the words of champions list before? So enclosed here is a PDF with it. And for next class, you got, I'm gonna have a 10-question quiz at the beginning of at the end of next class. And in that, I will ask you guys about the 1B words. So let me just go through it real quick. This is the first level. It's still pretty difficult for beginning spellers, but let me see if it lets me scroll down. Lagging a little. So these are the 1B words. At the beginning, they're pretty simple, but so yeah, for our next class, I will ask you guys to study these, and I'll send you this slideshow. So just make sure to use this slideshow, use the tips that you learned here, especially that comprehensive thing for the hard ones. And use I think one of the best things is using memory devices, because I didn't really go over this, but use memory devices to help you. Like for selfie, like most of you guys already know it, but for selfie, if you don't know how to spell it, just say that you're like taking a picture of yourself or something, and then use like memory devices. Like one of the champion for this year, her winning word was Mariah. And how she remembered it is, if any of you guys know who Bill Murray is, he's a comedian. So she remembered that word using Bill Murray's name. So even using like the stupidest, the silliest memory devices, they'll help you spell the words. So it's a little bit.
I didn't hear what you said because you froze.
Oh, I froze? My bad. What I was saying is that the speller who won the spelling bee this year. Can everyone still hear me? Hello? Can you guys still hear me?
We can hear you.
So the speller who won the spelling bee this year, her winning word was Mariah. And how she remembered it is, if any of you guys watch comedy movies or something, there's this big comedian. Yeah, Zyla. If any of you watch comedy movies, there's this big comedian. One of his biggest movies is Groundhog Day. His name is Bill Murray. So she remembered this word using his last name. So even using the silliest memory devices, they'll help you spell the words right. And if any of you guys actually know about the champion, she is actually a very good basketball player too. So basically, these are just study these 1B words, use memory devices, use anything you need. And then at the end of next class, I'll ask you guys 10 words from this spell. So, does anyone have any questions? Thanks for attending our first class.
Okay, thank you.
Yamini has a question. You can unmute and ask me.
Can we write down some of the words?
Yeah, you can write it down. I'm gonna email it to your parents actually probably now. And you guys can, I'm gonna email this presentation to you guys just to view, of course. But yeah, you guys can write down the words and anything that you need. So yeah, bye.
I'm sorry, but what's homework again?
Can I leave? Hello? Bye.